So I already have my base done for this look because I'm in the middle of filming my beauty basics videos, and I have everything up to like blusher and highlighter and contour done. But I will, as usual, list everything that I used on my blog, and because I am doing the beauty basics videos, you can just kind of check them out if you're interested in seeing how I do my base and stuff at the moment. So for this, I'm just going to really jump ahead and do the eyes and eyebrows and the lips. I'm going to put the picture of Kristen on my blog so you can see the original look that I'm working from. And I'm keeping quite close to it, but I am tweaking one or two things just to make it quite simple and easy to recreate. But what I'm going to do is start off by applying some black kohl pencil. So this is my Feline pencil by MAC, and just apply that to the waterline. And I'm going to apply it to the top waterline as well. So I'll usually just lay it against the inner corner of my top waterline while the eye's open, then close my eye and run it across. Just be careful not to poke your eye, but do whatever suits or feels comfortable for you. And then what I'm going to do, because I'm going to use Club Eyeshadow by MAC, which acts differently over dark base, I'm going to apply a little bit of this pencil lightly above my top lash line, but I'm not going to apply too much of it. And you can just be messy with this. And I'm just going to use my finger because I want this to be a really, really simple look. Just going to use my finger to blend that out. And then just do the same to the other eye. If you have very oily eyelids, I would suggest applying an eye primer first of all, like something like the MAC Painterly Paint Pot or Urban Decay Primer Potion, or just something that'll stop creasing. Okay, so with that much on, I'm just going to go into my Club Eyeshadow by MAC. So it looks quite greeny in the pan, which is what it will look like over the black, but when you buff it out or blend it out over the rest of your skin, it goes much more of a kind of a reddy brown. So that's going to be perfect for the kind of look we're trying to go for to copy Kirsten's. I'm going to just press that club above my top lid. And you get that beautiful two-tone jewel effect. And I'm going to go into the tip of the brush with a little bit of that club as well and apply that beneath my lower lash line. So it's going to come out a little bit more brown underneath my lower lash line just because I didn't put a black base on underneath. And the way Club Eyeshadow works is that it comes out more green over a dark base, but when you put it on as it is, it just comes out more of that kind of warm brown. So it's a great eyeshadow to use if you want to make your eye look or your eyeshadow look a bit more interesting than it is. Now for the rest of the look, I'm just going to go into the club again, but I'm using a blending brush. And pick up a little bit on the tip, tap off any excess because we don't want any fallout because the base is already done. Start to blend this around your crease line a little bit. And you can see there it's looking much more reddy brown, which is exactly what we want. This is how she tends to generally always wear her eyeshadow, is she just pulls it out, she wings it out a little bit and up, so it goes up towards the end of her eyebrow just like so, but she doesn't seem to overwork it. It's never the most perfect looking eyeshadow, so it's not something you have to spend hours doing. So again, like with this side, just get a tiny bit on the tip of your brush and then just wing it up ever so lightly. So you want to be very light of hand here because you don't want to apply too much. And I'm just going to clean off that blending brush a little bit and then use it just to run around the bottom of the lower lash line so it's really diffused. Now for the inner corner highlight, she seems to have something much more highlighted. It's not too in your face shiny, so what I'm going to do is grab Shroom by MAC. So that's this guy here. The reason Shroom is so good is because it is a really nice subtle highlight without being obnoxious. It's not extremely light reflecting or anything like that, but it'll still give a nice effect in photographs. So I already had a little bit of highlight in there because of my Beauty Basics video, but this will just add to it a little bit. I think she probably has maybe a little bit of an eyeliner or something just behind the roots or at the roots. So what I'm going to do is get a angled brush and go for my darkest brown. So I think this is Mystery by MAC. You can go for a black if you want, but it doesn't look like she has too much on, so that's why I'm just going to stay lightest or darkest brown, and then just lightly just press it there against the lash root. And it's really only the outer corner I'm concentrating on. Now she has lovely looking lashes in it, so I'm going to apply plenty of mascara to the top lashes particularly, and concentrating on the outer half. So I'm using my Masterpiece mascara by Max Factor, which is one of my favourite mascaras. I'm going to apply a couple of coats. So again, focusing on the outer corner and really winging it out. I'm going to apply a little bit, mainly focusing on the root but dragging it to the edge a little bit. Again, focusing more on the outer half. And I always run my fingers over the very end of the eyelashes a little bit, just so that there's no clumps, so it won't transfer onto my bottom eyelid or my under eye area. Okay, so to finish the eyes, I already had a little bit of a highlight on from my Beauty Basics highlighting video, which was just MAC Pearl Cream Colour Base that I lightly popped in place, and that's more than enough. You could, if you had no other highlight in place, just put on a very, very light powder eyeshadow that doesn't have too much shimmer in it, so maybe something like Mylar or Blank Type by MAC, because her highlight is not very noticeable. And then for the eyebrows, for this particular look, she has just thickened her eyebrows a little bit, mainly thickening up top, but they're still very, very natural, particularly on the inner corner. So I'm just going to add a little bit of a light brown. So this is LetzMakeup's Brow Kit in Light, and I'm going to focus that mainly on the outer half of my eyebrow, so it's just not so skinny. So again, because it is a slightly grungy look, you don't want your eyebrows to be too perfect. And like I've said before, I'm not really a fan of the really stamped on perfect, like overly perfect brow by any means anyhow. And then I'm going to use the Catrice Brow Designer just to brush everything into place, because her own eyebrow hairs are brushed up and over. So that's the eyes totally done, and it was so simple of an eye look to do, so it's something that is still quite striking, particularly with the eyeshadow choice. Now for the rest of the face, like I said, I will list all the products on my blog, but just so you know, I did contour because Kirsten's own face is quite narrow. Now, it doesn't look like she has much contouring done in this particular look, but like I said, her own face is very, very slim, and she has very defined cheekbones naturally, so you can contour if you want to make them a little bit more noticeable. I used a very natural blush. I used Tenderling by MAC and then highlighted a little bit, but the rest of it is all quite natural. Now for her lips, in this particular look, the lip line itself is not perfect by any means. I'm not going to use a lip liner because I just don't think that that is something that would have been used in this look. But because I'm not using a lip liner, I'm absolutely definitely going to use a primer. So I'm going to use my Prep and Prime by MAC again. Just pop that all over the lips. Let that set for about 30 seconds just so that it gets a little bit tacky and really grabs onto the lipstick. And then for the lipstick, she has a beautiful kind of berry red or red kind of berry colour. So what I'm going to use is this Cranberry colour by Sleek Makeup, which was out last year. It's a matte cranberry colour. It's a little bit more of a berry colour, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And I'm going to apply this straight from the bullet all over my lips first. I like to use a matte colour as well when I'm not using lip liner, because it will last longer on the lips than shiny colours. And then just to perfect the outline, I'm actually going to just go into that angled brush again, but I've cleaned it off. And like I said, her own outline isn't perfect, but I would like my outline to be a little bit more precise than what hers is like there. So I'm just going to use the angled brush and just get that lip line as perfect as possible without it being too stark. Now, so that's the first lip colour on, and by not using like a hard-tipped regular synthetic lip brush, I don't have a really, really, really harsh, stark outline, which is what I don't want. Or what I do want to not have, if you know what I mean. And then just to finish off the lips, her lips have a slight gloss effect to it, but they're not very high shine to it. It was perhaps the lipstick she used. But what I'm going to use is this Lip Stack by Screen Face. They're almost like glossy, like a gloss, kind of a glossy lipstick. And I'm going to use the third one down. There's no real names to it, but it's just like a, again, kind of a berry shade, but it gives a beautiful gloss to the lips. And I'm just going to run this over the top, more focusing on the centre. You can use your finger as well for this, because the outline is already done. Now, and that's the whole look finished. So it's a really simple look, yet I think it'll be really effective for like a party look or a Christmas look for if you've got a gathering or a family get together or whatever, and it's really not too faffy. It wouldn't take too long to do it all. So I hope you enjoyed this and that it was easy to follow, and of course go to my blog for more pictures and all that kind of jazz. And in the meantime, thanks a million for watching, and I'll chat to you all really soon. So long, guys.